Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to take an in-depth look at this 2025 Nissan Kicks SR. This thing is so packed with amazing features that are on vehicles that are more than double its price. Panoramic roof, contrast stitching, soft touch points everywhere, every safety feature you could shake a stick at, intelligent high beams, all the things that really make it seem like Nissan has gone a little bit crazy with putting features on this thing and keeping it at under $30,000. Before we get started, a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to take an in-depth look at this Kicks SR. Now the Kicks has always been a practical, affordable, subcompact SUV, but this 2025 SR, it brings a ton of premium touches you'd expect from something way more expensive, from soft touch interior accents to advanced tech, LED lighting everywhere. It's got an overall length of 171.9 inches, overall width of 69.3 inches, overall height of 62.5 inches with the roof rails, overall wheelbase of 103.1 inches, ground clearance 7 inches, and a curb weight of 2,750 pounds. I know this is going to be controversial, but I love the wheels. It is a massive, like, flag looking 3-spoke design. I don't know, it looks like it's from the Leaf, but I like it. I think it works. Black, silver, aggressive lines. I really like the way those look. In fact, they make sense. You see how aggressively this comes out, and then that floating roof line look, the contrast on the red right up here, that looks so cool to me. Big roof rails, big panoramic roof, so nice. It makes the back seat seem super open and airy. I like how the rear of it looks like it starts here, goes up and around, LED lighting there in the back, and you have the layered look, the one that goes across and then down and down, 3 layers. You also have sensors in the bumpers that beep, an excellent surround view camera system, SR badging on the back. It just looks athletic. It's not a speed demon, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't claim to be. Here in the back is some of my equipment, but you can see here that you have a 60-40 split seat, and it's a good demonstration because you can put a great big rocking chair, outdoor rocking chair right there in the back, plus a bag with camera equipment. If you ever needed to do that, then you have extra space here where a spare tire would normally go, but it's additional space. It is not a power rear door, but it's easy to put down. And then you also have rear seating here, and this is kind of where it gets a little bit luxurious. I really, really like this. Look at the seat bottom and the seat back, and it looks like a kind of like a plaid material from a distance. And then you have the orange and white, or the red and white contrast stitching with leather feeling, soft touch surface places, an armrest here. And this back seat is quite roomy. I'll show you that here in just a second. Big panoramic roofs, not open right now because it's 150 million degrees here in North Carolina, but it's really, really nice. You can take my word for it. And then here is a carbon fiber looking material right here, but look, it's soft. There's more of that on the dash that I'll show you. Really, really nice. Coming around here to this mirror, you can see that it is red on top, just like the roof is on top. LED integrated turn signals there. And then you come around to a substantial front. You can see here that it raises up, and it raises up over there on the edge. and that's got a cool perspective from the inside when you're driving it. But triple beam LED headlights with a stack of LED marker lights there. That is so nice. And then that front, it looks squared off, a little bit intimidating and aggressive. Red SR badging there. It's got quite a look that I really, really like. Let's talk about the engine. Under the hood is a 1.6 liter dual overhead cam, 16 valve, inline 4-cylinder engine, produces a whopping 122 horsepower with 114 pound-foot of torque, and it's mated to an Xtronic CVT, continuous variable transmission, that works well. It actually feels like it shifts when you really get on it. This also, the Kicks is available for the first time in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Now, again, it's not a speed demon, but the Kicks isn't trying to be. It's peppy, responsive in the city, and really shines when it comes to efficiency. This thing actually really sips fuel, and that's a good thing nowadays. People aren't looking for a huge speed demon for under 30 grand, and you're not looking to tear up the drag strip in this thing. All you want to do is have an affordable, reliable car that's packed with technology that looks really good. And this, to me, checks all the boxes. Here is the key fob. I really like the way Nissan has done this key fob. It's a little bit big in my opinion. It's not huge. I like how thin it is. It's nice and flat. The buttons aren't rubbery, so they don't stick to stuff. You can see that you have remote start on the top of it, and I appreciate that because remote start integrated that you don't have to pay extra for is super nice, and Nissan claims that this remote start will work up to 200 feet away. That's a pretty good distance. Lock here, unlock, panic alarm, Nissan badge, all really nice. It has proximity sensing locking and unlocking. So all you do is get out of the vehicle, shut the door, walk away, and it locks. As you approach it, it senses the key fob, unlocks. That is a great feature, and that's usually on cars that are pretty dang expensive, certainly not under 30 grand. Now here's the nice thing about the back seat is I have the seat adjusted to fit my frame, but I am back behind this, so that means somebody tall up front could be driving, somebody tall in the back. You're not gonna have a ton of room, you're not crossing your legs, but it makes it pretty comfortable. Also, with this big old hat on, I still have a couple of inches of headroom. It's great. It's not gonna be super comfortable for 3 people to be back here, but it's certainly gonna be comfortable for kids. It's certainly gonna be comfortable for an adult couple back here. If you go out on a date night, no problem at all, and it's very comfortable. Another thing I'm saying, since I'm talking about seat comfort, these are the Nissan Zero Gravity seats that I rave about. I absolutely love these seats. You also have the Bose upgraded stereo system in this thing, and this says Bose Personal Plus on this tag, and the stereo system in this thing is absolutely amazing. Now coming into the front, you're about to see what I mean by quality. I am so surprised at the quality of the build of this thing. It is just fantastic. You can see contrast stitching, soft touch. It looks really, really nice. Soft touch materials here again. All of your typical switches. Heated steering wheel. Auto start, shut off. And then look at this carbon fiber looking material here, but it's not, it's soft, and it gives depth to the dash. I'll show you a little bit more about that. Then you have this beautiful screen that goes from one end of the dash to the next. And look what Nissan has done. Nissan has, like a bunch of geniuses, put a toggle right there to adjust the brightness of the screen. You don't have to dig for days in a panel of buttons to simply adjust the brightness of your screen. Thank you, Nissan. Now that we're inside, take a look at this orange ring. Gives depth to the gear shifter. more orange stitching, contrast stitching here, leather type material here. But this is what I want to draw your attention to. This, like I told you before, it gives depth to the dash. It goes from here all the way to the door. It's soft touch, so it just feels like quality. It looks like carbon fiber. So it's kind of like a weird mixture of a lot of different things, but it makes everything look luxurious. Wonderful screen right here. Nissan has really updated the graphics, the cleanliness, the crispness of all of their screens, and I think it's wonderful. I really like this screen here that is in front of the driver and how easy it is to operate. Right now I have radar cruise control information displayed there right in the middle, but you can change that by using this, and you can just roll it down and it'll show you the speed limit sign. It'll show you safety things. It'll show you other things too. You can then press this in for OK and for a menu. And it's just really nice how this works. I'm going to press back. And then you can also go left to right. So right now it's showing Apple CarPlay. So that's going to be audio things, tire pressure. And then look at the graphic right here at the very bottom. That's what screen you're on. It just went away. But continuing to press this to the left, fuel economy information, basic display with TAC on the left, fuel on the right, digital speedometer in the middle, and your gear you're in. And then settings, and then I can just press OK for that. And then now we're in our settings mode. So just rolling down. TPMS is tire pressure monitor system. Then vehicle settings, and isn't that great? And look how clean and crisp the graphics are. I just pressed OK on the dial. So locking, lighting, wipers. Let's go to wipers. Rain sensing on, reverse link, drip wipe. This is some really interesting technology that this thing has at this price point. My goodness. This is a real contender here, I'm telling you. Audio there on the steering wheel, all on the left, and then you have what looks like to be a Pages icon here, and you can press that, and that is just a shortcut menu. And then pressing to the right exits out of all that. This is going to be your radar cruise control. Radar cruise control works really well, and this is your Nissan Intelligent Safety System. And that's what that looks like when you press here. And then over here, you have a panel. And so this is a clear panel. And over on the far left and far right, you have your heated seat controls. This is a single zone climate control. So you adjust your temperature here. You have your defrost, auto, off and on. I like how basic this is. I don't necessarily care for the fact that it's just a clean, clear panel without buttons. That to me would just take some getting used to, but it's fine. It does give it a little bit more of a high class feel. I also appreciate the fact that Nissan has maintained a dial and a button to turn your audio off and on, track and station skip, hazards, and then camera system. And like I said, the camera system is very clear, really nice. Overhead, your grid that moves with the steering wheel. And then you have a panel here, and you have notifications, home screen, which is a customizable panel, Apple CarPlay, all kinds of device and things here. And then you can swipe and you can cut, like I said, you can add another little thing to that, or you can completely change the layout. And look how customizable all of that is. You can just pick all kinds of profiles. Isn't that great? Audio 2x2 is added to page 2. So look at all the pages that I have. Man, that is just fabulous. And then yes, we're going to exit out without saving the changes. So you can really customize all that. Then here are all of your sources. And then here is phone, and then here is a nice little display for your climate controls. That looks like almost like Tesla-like. Heated seat controls and all that stuff. Isn't that neat? Little slider for changing your temperature. So the way this all works is really nice. And again, the presentation of it all is really done very, very well. I gotta say, I am super impressed. Another nice thing I like about this is not just cup holders. I carry a huge water bottle, it's like 32 ounces of water. And when I get into vehicles, it never ever fits. My water bottle still doesn't fit down into this small thing here. It will fit a regular cup, but the depth of this means that I can just put it here and it will stay. So this is a nice design. I really like this design. You also have D mode, which is drive mode here, and you can press that and you have sport, standard, and eco. So sport will adjust it to drive a little bit more sporty, a little more peppy. Standard is a blend of eco and sport, and eco is the most fuel efficient way to drive it. You also have a wireless charging pad here for your iPhone or your Android, and then USB-C ports, and right there that says that it is charging my phone right now. And then the start stop button, that's kind of my one point of contention about this vehicle. The start stop button is way up here in just this no man's land almost. It's like it needs just to be moved to back to here or to here. You know, if it were here though, it'd kind of get in the way of other things. I understand that, but there's no reason why it couldn't be up here either. So I think that you'll probably see Nissan change that in the future. Park brake and auto hold all right there. I gotta say, I was kind of hesitant about picking up a Nissan Kicks because I'm just not familiar with the vehicle other than the old body style Kicks that was just a basic little subcompact SUV that didn't mean much, in my opinion. I'm not trying to be offensive to those that do own those Kicks, but this one, it just really has surprised me. I've had it several days, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this vehicle inside and out, and people have commented on it and said, man, this thing is actually looking really good. To me, I love the contrast roof. The red roof with the gray body, it just looks really good, and I love the wheels. So sue me. I just did a U-turn and I am blown away at the turning radius of this vehicle. So watch this. I'm just like straight right now, right? Watch. That's locked right there. And I don't know if you can tell, but it feels like I'm literally just rotating in the parking spot that I started in. The turning radius of this thing is great. This is probably the kind of driving that you are going to be doing the most in a Nissan Kicks. In the city, occasional trips, and running errands. And that is exactly what this vehicle is designed to do, and it does it extremely well. The engine, as far as the black and white specs of it, doesn't sound like it has that much power, and it really doesn't. It doesn't have a ton of power, but you don't need a ton of power when what you're going to be doing is running errands in the city. The things that really are going to matter the most about what this vehicle is, it does extremely well. Safety, efficiency, comfort, and looks, in my opinion. I really cannot get over how much I like the way this thing looks on the outside. You can see right here the shape of the rear view mirror. That's important because the rear view mirrors, I noticed on this vehicle, are actually pretty big. They're not bulky though, and they provide a really nice clear view of what is behind you to allow you to really be able to see very, very well. The steering is tight. It's not loose. Most Nissan steering anyways is pretty tight, because I would say of the big three Japanese manufacturers, and I'm considering the big three, Nissan, Honda, and Toyota. I know Mazda is coming up in the world, but for this conversation, Nissan seems to have more of a sporty drive than Honda and Toyota. And the steering, I like how the steering is kind of tight. Another thing that I like about the way the hood is shaped is these upward arches in the wheel wells. That gives it more of a distinct look, and it kind of reminds me of an Infiniti FX35, if you remember those. When it comes to a stop, the auto off and on feature of the engine is activated right now. I don't really mind it. It's kind of a feature that was annoying to me at first, but I'm getting used to it. The radar cruise control works extremely well. You can set the distance, as you know, the way radar cruise control works. However, this morning I was driving on an interstate and there was a huge pile of something ahead of me in the road. 4-lane road, and I had all the safety features on the steering and, you know, all that stuff, and I didn't have time to signal. So I moved the steering wheel to avoid whatever was in the road, and it tried to steer me back, and it was actually pretty aggressive. It was the most aggressive steering correction of any of the features that of any of the vehicles that I have tested to date. And it like felt like it was steering me back into what I was trying to avoid. So I had to really kind of overcome it. And it might have been just the shock of it or whatever, but that was interesting. You'll have to kind of get in it yourself and feel what that's like. I like how the panels that we've already discussed on the interior, how they're situated, they're driver centric. And it's really thoughtfully laid out, very easy to use. One of the things that I have noticed about cornering is there's a little bit of noticeable body roll in cornering. But that's just because it's more tuned for comfort. That matches with the comfort of the driver's seat and the front passenger seat. Just exquisitely comfortable seats. I can't speak highly enough of those. So there's a little bit of body roll. That's not a huge deal. You're not going to be throwing it in and around corners very much. Even though CVTs have come a long way, and Nissan has had CVTs in their vehicles for years and years, I can still feel a little bit of that typical CVT drone. Although under heavy pressure of the accelerator, it's like there is kind of a false gear changing feeling in the CVT. I like that software. It makes it feel like a regular transmission. Although there is, I mean, a CVT is a CVT. It is what it is. Let's open it up a little bit. Hear that? Woo! This guy's trying to cut me off here. Sorry, bud. So it's a little bit zesty. Another thing, the suspension system soaks up road imperfections pretty well for a subcompact vehicle. It's not floaty, but also it's not rigid. It's comfy. There is a decent amount of road noise that's coming in, and it may be because of the low profile tires. I have noticed that. If there's one thing about the vehicle when it comes to the driving of it that is less than perfect, I'm gonna err on the side of saying that it's road noise. It's not huge. It's not like you have to raise your voice when you're riding with a passenger having a conversation, but it's there. See, there's some pretty bad road imperfections right there, and it actually feels pretty good. You can probably hear that road noise too. This is a little bit more of a rough road though. Okay, everybody, that's gonna do it for our look at the 2025 Nissan Kicks SR. Very impressive vehicle, packed with technological features, comfort features, luxury touches, aggressive looks on the outside, and a really, really comfortable drive. Thanks so much to Impex Auto Sales for the opportunity to film this vehicle. And thanks for watching, everybody. I hope this helps you enjoy your ride.